Hey, what is going on everybody, and welcome to Fantasia. For today, we're going to be jumping into another session of Epic 7 now today. Got some more Guild Wars for you guys. We've been doing pretty good on our defenses lately, and well, it is time to go back onto the offensive here. But of course, before we begin, the joke of the day. The police arrested me because my outfit was so bad. In particular, they wanted to question me about my criminal ties. Oh boy. I actually do need to get some ties. I don't have many laying around, yeah? But, you know, criminal ones, maybe not so much. So, without any further ado, guys, let's go ahead and jump into our first match over here, going up against this tower up top. Ooh, it's going to be a good one, too, because we got a classic Harsetti, Mort, and Young Senya team that you still see running around in Guild Wars defenses nowadays, and into this team, we just got to be very careful of all the debuffs that are going to be coming out from the opponent's side. So, as a result, we're going to bring in our last rider, Crow. He's going to have immunity for the team, which is wonderful. Bastion of Perlucia here, which grants immunity and a barrier to himself and the backline unit. I don't have him on an immunity set. He's currently running Lifesteal for some self-sustaining capabilities, and HP set to just further increase his bulk. But now, we actually got to put May Chloe in the back line. Now, May Chloe here does not have immunity either. She's on a speed and HP set. She's pretty bulky, which is pretty good, and she has a bit of resistance to her. And we're running her on Water's Origin to help increase her survivability and give her some turn cycling capabilities. Mine is a bit slow. I do want her a bit faster, but I'm prioritizing the HP over the speed, so the Water's Origin helps a lot with the combat readiness gains. And of course, last but not least, the unit we're showcasing in this Guild War here is going to be Stark. If you missed out on Freerin and Fern's showcases, do be sure to check them out after this one, but Stark here is wonderful. We have Golden Rose on him for some healing, for some damage, and he's currently on counter and immunity set, which makes him a bit more self-sufficient, especially in RTA. For a bruiser, it's very important. He doesn't have any cleansing capabilities, so bringing along immunity buffers if your opponent doesn't have buff strippers, or bringing along cleansers if your opponent is really debuff heavy on their teams is really good for him, right? But otherwise, he should be able to ramp up his fighting spirit pretty quickly with some counters and just being hit by a bunch of AoE attacks, which we do have on our opponent's side, right? Harsetti has AoEs, Young Senya has an AoE with their passive, and Mort has an AoE with his S3. So let's go ahead and jump in and see what we can do. Hopefully, Stark will show us he's good. So let's go ahead and jump in here. Stark, obviously the weakest out of the 3 collab units here, but I really want him to be usable. I've been having a difficult time drafting him in RTA just because the meta is, well, kind of rough for him, but I think we do have a good chance here. Let's go ahead and test him out with a little S3 strike. You always want to open up with S3. In fact, whenever you have it, whether or not it's overkill or not, rip his S3. It's going to ramp up every time you use it, so we're going to go for that right here, and honestly, ooh, Crow. We're gonna have a really hard time with this because our Crow is not gonna be able to get buffed here. I am going to rip the S3, I think. That's probably the way to go. Stark and Maid will both get the immunity, and then I guess LRK is just going to be left out to dry here. The unbuffable really hurts from the Harsetti, but it's fine. Technically, you could have brought Aaron here instead of Maid Chloe, but I knew that the Young Senya was going to have a bunch of splash damage, and I wanted to mitigate that with the Maid Chloe. So this will be okay. Look at that. The Stark has a ton of fighting spirit right now. Unfortunately, he still has the cannot counter buff, so he can't, you know, ramp up his fighting spirit with extra hits here, but all good. Oh my god, my last rider Crow is absolutely gone. Okay, so Stark is going to be able to reset his S3 there. Thankfully, though, Maid Chloe is around. We are able to pop the S3, get the revive on the last rider Crow, and I just hope that he can survive until his next turn. So we're going to go in with an S3 here onto the Great Mortelix. This is the second S3. Unfortunately, no Soulburn. If I had a Soulburn, it'd be really nice. But Stark right now, only 22k health. We have injury on our opponent's side. Look at that, ramping up here. Pretty decent. Fortunately, got that defense break on us too. This is going to be a nasty fight. A very nasty fight. Right, there we go. LRK does end up going down. May Chloe now going to be the tank for the team. I think we should be okay. Alright, Stark, let's go ahead and try to provoke here. If I can provoke the Mort, very good. Now one more hit from the opponent, and we should be able to, there we go, do the little extra attacking, that 50% combat readiness, push ourselves up. Beautiful. We got defense broken, but it's fine. Let's go ahead and soul burn this, see if we can finish off the Mort. Stark is tanking. Unfortunately, he's, you know, racking up some injury as well. Nothing we can really do about that. Okay, and we'll go for another stun on the Harsetti, if that's possible. Nope. Could not land that. Thankfully, the Harsetti will always be attacking the maid Chloe, because it's a dark versus light unit. The AI tends to go for elemental advantage here. And the two Earth units actually won't attack Stark either, because they have disadvantage into Stark. So we have that going for us too. Mort has one more turn until his S3. We need a turn cycle here. No turn cycle, it's fine. We're getting really low now. Let's try to finish off the Mort. If we can finish off the Mort here, we will be in a really good position. Okay, there goes the S3. Maid Chloe has an S3 as well, so we can cleanse this. Ooh, it's a lot of damage. There we go. Stark, though, able to proc his passive. Good job, resetting. Unfortunately, we can't actually do anything about the... what is it called? Oh, this is bad. Hang on. We can't push up the combat readiness because it was Harsetti's turn, right? We are able to come in here with an S3, though, so now we get immunity onto everybody. And this will be a decent way to kind of level the playing field. We should take out Mort. There we go. Very nice, very nice. And Stark gets to come in with an S3. Let's go ahead and try to finish off the Harsetti. Maid Chloe definitely carrying this team on her back, but Stark only at 18k HP right now, still dealing almost 20k damage, right? If he had his max health, because he is an HP scaler, he would have been dealing so much more. But it's okay, you get to see kind of his ramping up capabilities in these longer fights. So as a free unit, honestly, he's not terrible, right? He is really, really reliant on teammates, though. Again, the lack of cleansing in his kit really hurts him, but, you know, he is able to ramp up pretty fast, especially on a counter build. You weren't able to see it here really often because the Harsetti put the unable to counter buff on us and all that good stuff, but the Stark with the counters, every time you counter you gain 20 fighting spirit, and every time a unit on your side is hit you gain 5. It is really, really nice. But let's go for an S3 just to be safe here, get that defense buff up, get that revive buff up, and you can see in longer fights, Stark's doing pretty good. After this hit from the Senya, because we have full fighting spirit, we will be able to proc our passive into her, and then we will be able to push ourselves up 50% combat readiness as well. Look at that. Beautiful. Right? His extra attack doesn't really deal that much damage, but you'll see here. We'll come in with another S3. Let's see how much damage we do with that one. Alright, come on, Stark. Still at 18k health, right? And we're able to deal a decent chunk of damage. Almost 17k damage right there. Not bad, right? A little over 16k. Pretty decent. So, yeah, that is Stark here. Let's go ahead and see what else he can do and what other teams he might be good against. Moving on into our next match over here, let's take on this top tower because we have a bunch of AoEs on the other side in the form of Bellion, and Stark is actually really good, as I mentioned earlier, against these types of units. Unfortunately, they do have a Yoha and the Lady of the Scales. It's going to be kind of weird to fight against with Lady of the Scales mitigating a lot of damage and sharing it to the Yoha, but we're going to do our best here. Last Rider Crow is still our go-to unit for tanking in this situation because when there's AoEs, Last Rider Crow benefits a lot by giving everyone barriers. He also gives immunity to the team as well, so he is a really good teammate for Stark in general. We're going to try to test out other units as well in the future, but, you know, in this case, he is really good. Empyrean Ilanov is also great against Yoha, though. Ruel of Light is going to be my healer of choice here. She is quite tanky, 22k health, 1900 defense, and 180 resist to boot. With Cure All Magic Wand, she actually gains a bit more effect resistance, almost 200 now, and anytime someone below 50% health is attacked, you do recover their health by 15%, which is very nice. But what we're doing here with her is we're going to be putting up the damage limit buff to help keep us alive. We also have a revive and a full cleanse, full heal, and immortality buff on her S3, right? So this should be pretty good in terms of keeping us alive against the Yoha, and Yoha should not be attacking Stark here because of the elemental disadvantage that the opponent's AI has. So Stark should be kind of free to attack who he pleases. We just have to be very careful of when we time Ruel's S3. Okay, so there's the counterattack. Look at that. Gaining the fighting spirit. Look at him. Almost 50% fighting spirit already. It's really nice to run him on counters, especially against units that AoE. And he's pushing up his team. So we're going to S3 with the Last Rider Crowd. This is going to deal a lot of damage to my opponents, but we're also going to get the immunity. It's going to be fine. Yoha is going to be able to proc here, so let's see if she rips her S3. She does, and she's missing about 20k health. I don't think she can actually kill the Last Rider Crowd here. Ooh, going for the Ruel. That's kind of nasty. Alright, well, we could just honestly damage limit buff the Ruel here, and we should be fine. There you go. Good healing. And again, like I mentioned earlier, Stark, you just want to rip your S3 as much as possible. Let's go for the Bellion. I don't know if it's a counter Bellion. It seems like she's relatively slow here, so we'll just go for it. Or was she fast? Wait a minute. She was... I don't remember if she was fast or not. Actually, looking at the HP, it looks like she's a fast Bellion. Alright, anyway, look at that. Look at the AoEs coming in, and Stark is just going to be popping off. I hope Bellion gets so many more extra attacks. It's going to be great for us. So Stark has the immunity. Oh man, look at that, guys. Just look at that. Beautiful. Alright, we are below 50% health, so Golden Rose is going to kick in, and Stark will be able to heal. Unfortunately, no damage bonus here, but it's going to be nice. Right, look at that. Pretty decent. And we'll just go for another S1 here. I think LRK has an S3 ready now. Oh my god, look at the Bellion hitting us once again. Okay, a lot of damage coming out, but it's fine. We'll go for the S3. This is definitely a speedy Bellion, so that's actually even better for Stark, because he's going to be able to get his fighting spirit up way faster. Alright, all the counters. Ooh, it's a counter Yoha too. That's kind of nasty. Hitting the Stark there, we got the Guardian Ice Crystals healing, and Stark is able to proc. Decent stuff. And we're coming with another S3. Let's see if we can do some healing here. Let's go into the Bellion once more. Again, we're below half health. Let's see how much we heal. I didn't pay attention last time. Ramping up our S3s. Okay, healed up a decent amount. It's not as good as Sigurd's Scythe in my opinion. So I might switch back over to Sigurd's Scythe, but Golden Rose is decent. It's decent. Okay, we have another S2 that we can pop here. Let's go ahead and pop the S2 onto the Stark. Thankfully, Last Rider Crowd is giving us a lot of skill cooldowns, right, by using his S3 over and over again. There we go, Stark is able to proc again. Yoha goes down, Holy Sacrifice gets popped. Now we're going to go straight into the Yoha here. Let's see how much we can do. Oh, that's a decent chunk. Okay, he did heal, but it's fine. Let's go for another S3. Last Rider Crowd. Doing quite a bit of carrying here. Again, reducing the cooldowns of Ruel is super nice. Stark gets a benefit from it too, but you see that the Bellion is giving us free resets on our turns with Stark. Okay, anyway, we have push coming up here. That's fine. We can honestly go for... just go for an S1. There's no reason to really heal here. And we'll just do a little S1 here. Alright, Last Rider Crowd. Let's keep hitting the Bellion. Don't think she's a counter Bellion, but just in case. Alright, here's the S1 again. Good damage, good counter attack, very nice. And here he comes. Here comes the Stark once again. See, against the AoEs, guys, Stark, he really does shine. He really legitimately does shine. Let's finish off Lady before she gives the Bellion some additional damage by giving the Abundance buff. We don't want that. There we go, 15k damage. And honestly, guys, I think we're looking good. We'll just go ahead and just pop the S3 here. Why not? Go for the S3, because we're going to get cooldown resets anyway. So we'll just protect the Stark. There we go. And Bellion should be able to pop an S1. Come on, extra attack as well. No extra attack. That's okay. We'll pop an S3. Yeah, so again, Last Rider Crowd with Stark is a really decent combination. I really do like it. Is it viable in RTA? Certainly is, but your opponent has to have really specific teams as well. Okay guys, so let's go ahead and continue here with another match against this tower to try to open up on the main towers. For the bottom team, we're going to be going up against a Harseti, Mort, and Afternoon Soak Flan, and honestly, this is a pretty decent team to be bringing Stark into. Stark will be able to proc off his Fighting Spirit, right, gaining a ton of it from the Mort's AoE on the S3, Flan's AoE's on the S1, Harseti AoEing every turn. And again, Stark pairs very well with Last Rider Crow, so why not bring him? This time we're going to bring Last Rider Crow on Aureus. It's just great to increase our defense in general, but also to grant that damage share. My Last Rider Crow is on lifesteal, and the lifesteal healing is actually going to be increased by having Aram on the team, because my Aram is running Shimadra Staff, right? I've used this combo before, but you know, Aram is just so good into any Harseti team. You would be you'd be throwing if you weren't just bringing her into any Harseti that you saw, right? So let's go ahead and dive in, see how it goes. I think it's going to be promising. Okay guys, so here we go, the match is starting. We got immunity on everybody for 3 turns. Thank you Aram very much for that. Harseti's gonna come in with the S3. Stark should be okay, we get a nice barrier from LRK as well. Aram pops off, we get the vigor buff, we got the speed buff. I mean, how much better can things be, right? We're gonna go off with an S3, we're gonna soul burn this, and I think I'll go into the Great Mortelix first of all, because my Stark is on a counter set, and I can't counter if Mort is on the other side, so we will do our best to take him out as soon as possible. That was really good damage, actually. Holy, that Mort. Alright, let's go for an S3. And this should hopefully finish off the Mort. The good thing is we'll be able to defense penetrate and deal quite a bit of damage to the Afternoon Soak Flan. There we go. He's on Holy Sacrifice. He's coming back. And Flan does go for an S3 as well. Going to the Aram. Okay, it's fine. We got a little barrier. Right, there you go. We got the Vigor buff helping us out too. Now, Mort does penetrate the defense of the highest HP unit. Ooh, actually, hang on. This Mort might be missing a piece here, so maybe not the best showcase in terms of damage. Stark was doing more than he normally would, but look at this. We're about to reset our S3 with Stark anyway, because of his fighting spirit. It's so high. Let's go ahead and reset it first with Aram, and once we do that, see if we can soul burn here. Nope, not yet. We'll just go ahead and finish off the Mort. Right, so if the first S3 wouldn't have finished him off, this would. And so we're gonna just ramp up that damage there, easy peasy. He's gonna dual attack into us, it's all good. And look at this extra attack, watch this. Stark, he's gonna reset here. Now, the good thing is that Stark is able to get the S3 off cooldown. The bad thing is we can't get the 50% combat readiness, unfortunately. But, you know, the opponent with the AoE on the Afternoon Soak Flan definitely helps us out a lot. Let's go for another S3. See how much our LRK actually heals, right? We're about 10k health. So, yeah, look at that. 14k health. Pretty decent. Let's go for an S1 here. I don't know if she's on a counter or riposte set, but no need to soul burn this. We should be able to finish her off. Finish off the Afternoon Soak Flan. Just seeing how many times Stark can S3 is honestly like the best thing about his kit. There you go. Finish off the Afternoon Soak Flan. She was actually quite bulky. On Miss we did under 5k damage. Right? That's on like fully ramped up Stark there with his S3. Let's see what we got here. Not much. Okay, and S1. Ooh, super close. But oh wait! He actually stunned me! Oh no! I was gonna say, like, Stark was about to go pop off. He was about to S2 into the Harseti and then finish her off there, but yeah, that is Stark's major weakness, guys. If he gets controlled, there's really nothing you can do about it, and that's why I try to bring as much immunity as possible with LRK, with Aram, but sometimes even all the immunity in the world won't stop you from getting some debuffs, and it kind of sucks. But the good news is, we did open up this little tower, so now the main tower can be our next victim. So next one, onto the breach, guys. This is not the tower that I unlocked. The one I unlocked was honestly kind of terrible. The defense teams weren't bad, they were just really bad for Stark. It was against like things like Freerin and like Genesis Razes and stuff like that. So things that Stark really doesn't hold a candle to, unfortunately. In this case, though, we have a really fast and explosive team in terms of damage here. We got Zio, we have Rinok, and we have Dragon King Sharoon. So what I'm going to do in this case is I'm actually going to go for a pretty standard like RTA sort of draft. We got Boss Arunga, of course, a really popular pick. You guys know how strong she is by now. Mine is actually really poorly equipped for this fight because she has way too much defense and way too little health. If you had a properly built Bossarunka with like 30k HP, she'd fare much better here, but we got Bossarunka in the front lines to tank against these guys. Just gonna eat up the Zeo hit, eat up the Rinok hit, probably go down, but at the very least we're gonna have made Chloe to help back us up here with some healing and shenanigans. She'll be able to revive the Bossarunka too, which is also pretty good, but yeah, she's gonna be on Water's Origin, and you guys know by now, I prefer the HP on the maid Chloe, really nice for helping to heal up the team. And then last but not least, we of course have our Stark, and Stark is going to be doing his stuff against this team. Dragon King Shroon does have an AoE. Zeo has an extra attack that comes in, and then Rinok, she just takes a bunch of extra turns, so hopefully it'll work out. Alright, Stark, it's time to show these guys who's truly the boss around here, as Bossarunka's probably gonna go down. Let's see. Lost about half her health from Zeo, it's typical. Zeo's S3 scales off of your remaining HP anyway. And the Rinok comes in, this is probably gonna be lethal here with the S3, because the full penetration is still in effect. Yeah, there you go. The splash damage was able to finish us off, unfortunately, but Dragon King Shroon gonna come in with an S3, and Stark is not a full fighting spirit just yet. Rinok, ooh, doing a lot of damage there. Alright, cool. We're gonna go ahead and revive. Bossarunka's right there. She should take the turn before everybody else does. And she should be able to get up her defense buff and everything again. So we're gonna get rid of the, let's actually get rid of the Zeo. He's a little bit dangerous right now. He has a lot of damage, especially with the Cascade buff right there. I don't want him dealing all that fixed damage to my Bossarunka. So there you go, we'll finish him off, and we'll just come in with an S3 with Stark here. I probably could have S1'd, honestly, to build a fighting spirit, but you want to pop your S3. There's no reason to reset your S3 cooldowns with this S2 if you didn't use your S3 to begin with, right? So we'll go for that. Rinok's going to come S2, S1, and Stark just builds up a little bit too slowly, I feel like, against single target damage dealers, which is the unfortunate thing. He'll proc here, right? This is good. Look at that, beautiful stuff, and we jump up in combat readiness. We won't actually be able to cut here, unfortunately. There you go, the Cascade and everything. Alright, let us go for, let us just go for a single S1 right now. Just finish off the Shroon. We don't need to S3 in this case. I'm gonna try to stun, wonderful. Rinok will lap us, but we're still good. S1, resist. And let me go for an S3 here. Let's soul burn this one. So we can come in for some real big damage. See what we can get. Oh, beautiful. Look at that. Finishing her off. Easy peasy. We did sacrifice Bossarunka, but like I mentioned, if you had a better Bossarunka than me, you wouldn't have kind of lost all that splash damage and everything. Mine is just relatively squishy with only 20k HP. Okay guys, let's go ahead and try something a little bit different for this last round that we're going to test out Stark in. For the bottom team here, we're going to do it. This is the team I unlocked, and I thought I wasn't going to bring Stark into it, but now we are. We're going to try something new. And the thing that we're trying new here is we're going to bring in Empyrean Ilana for the defense penetration resistance, right? It stacks with Diane's penetration resistance buff that she gives to the team, which is really nice. But here's the tech. Crown of Glory, okay? When an ally suffers an attack that targets all allies, grants 15% damage reduction and removes 5 souls from the enemy. So we're going to try to reduce the damage from Roz's S3 and from Friren's S3, but also every time Frieren S1s and has that extra attack that comes out, it will also proc this artifact, right? So I'm hoping to be able to drain the souls away from my opponent here. I could have used a Bellion, but Bellion doesn't provide penetration resistance. And the DN here actually has anti-crit for the team as well, so I'm hoping that this is a great way for Stark to really shine. Okay, here we go guys. Let's see if we can actually survive. Now the unfortunate thing is, Frieren does have the ability to strip our buffs. So if I put the S3 up, you know, my Illinom doesn't have resistance, and Stark doesn't either. Stark could hopefully dodge the Frieren. We have 50-50 shot of dodging here, and I hope we do. But Diane will retain her buffs. If Stark dodges, he'll retain his. Illinov might lose hers, but so be it, right? Let's see if we're able to do anything here. Come on now. Oh, ooh, Stark actually got hit as well. I really Really don't like that, but let's go for an S3 into the Genesis Raws while we're at it. This will just add some injury. So we lose the anti-crit, we lose the penetration resistance, and Diane really can't do anything here, unfortunately. I am going to put up a barrier, an attack buff, you know, got the good stuff. Rod of Amaryllis helping out too. And I'm just going to pop an S3. Now, that was the first AoE, and as you can see, even though defense teams can't soul burn, their units still have souls. So Frieren is able to keep this barrier up and running. I'm going to go for an S3. We have a attack buff. We do have a Indomitable buff as well. That should help out quite a bit with just the overall bulkiness of our team. It does give us extra defense. So we're going to see here that the fixed damage is going to hurt a lot. Oh my god. Ooh, that crit there. I really don't like this. For the longevity of our team, Diane is going to go down. Uh-oh. That is really not good. No bueno. Stark gets sealed. Okay. Oh, no, he doesn't get sealed. He gets collapsed instead. So this will be a lot of damage coming in. Alright, since we lost technically 2 units. But there we go. Nice counter attack. Beautiful. Took down the Raz there. And unfortunately, we are sealed. Or not sealed, but feared. Come on, Stark, don't let Frieren take you out. Okay, there we go. I can't really do anything to cleanse. Come on, Stark, please wake up. Please wake up. Nice, good job, Stark. Unfortunately, we can't really do anything but just go for this. Right, little provoke action there. Please don't fear us. Oh my gosh, no! I needed Stark to be able to go. Anyway, we're gonna lose to the Frieren, unfortunately. Please, 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 don't do it. Don't do it. I'm gonna soul burn this. I'm gonna take out the Raz. I'm gonna do it. There we go. Down goes the Raz. Bam. And he does push up the Frieren. I'm hoping it doesn't... Oh, she's gonna lap, though. She's gonna lap. Yeah, and there comes the S3. I think we're dead here, unfortunately. Even with all the AoEs. Oh, Stark, no! Going down, guys! And now Ilinov, the, yeah, this is why Stark is just too vulnerable to control. I wish that when he got full fighting spirit, he was able to kind of cleanse himself. Kind of sucks that we're ending on a little bit of a loss here, but it is what it is, and yeah, it's just kind of difficult. This little tech was... it seemed like a good idea at first, but I don't really think it was the best idea. I think next time what we can do is put Crown of Glory on Ambitious Tywin, and a Tywin, every time he uses an S1, he also steals souls. But yeah, trying to find ways to fight Frieren that doesn't involve Bellion is always just a struggle. But yeah, anyway guys, that is going to be Stark in a showcase. Going down to Frieren I think is just honestly canon, so we'll leave this in the video. It is fine. Here you guys go. That expression's how I feel right now, deep down inside. I want him to be super good, and he is a fun unit, but can I justify running him like an RTA? He has such good quality gear. He has really good stat line to boot. But alas, I don't think he can fit in at the moment. He's just lacking a cleanse. And as you can see, if he had a cleanse there, he would have been able to S2 into my opponent. He would have been able to S3 like multiple times at that point, and we would have probably had it. But, you know, with that said, it's alright. Stark, buddy, we'll continue to try to make you work. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you want Stark to get a little bit of buff, maybe down the line, in the future, I don't know, or just have a meta where he is decent, leave a like down below, and subscribe to see me continue to try to use Stark and probably fail in RTA. And until next time, take care.